Okay, so today, guys, we are back with another hand review video, and we are again joined by BenaBadBeat. Ben, how are you doing?
Good. I'm looking forward to this one a lot.
If you don't know Ben, he's most well known for running above EV at 500 Zoom. But today he's taken some time away from that to help us with some hand review. Now, I asked you guys on stream what you most wanted to see from a video with Ben, because I said I had Ben coming up in line for a video. And a lot of you said that you wanted to see some 25 Zoom review. And rather than in detailed review, you wanted to see my hands being reviewed and at a faster pace. So we get maybe a little bit more information through. And Ben, actually, you might want to say something about this, Ben. You don't really like to spend more than a few minutes on each hand review when you do hand reviews. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, generally, I like if I'm going to do a really in-depth hand review, I'd use like PySolver and all that kind of stuff alongside it.
Yeah.
But when it's just kind of like analyzing hands and trying to get through hands, like from a variety of different spots, I think some Quickfire is pretty helpful sometimes.
Great. So what I've got for Ben is 50 hands from my recent sessions at 25 Zoom. I've just moved up to 25 Zoom in the last 2 weeks, and it hasn't gone well. It hasn't gone well. And who better to find out if it hasn't gone well because of me than Ben? So we are going to jump into the hands now, Ben, and we're going to spend a couple minutes on each one. This may end up being a two-part video because there's so many hands. So we might do 25 in one video and 25 in the next. We're just going to go with it and see how it goes. And I expect Ben to not be too kind in many different areas of this one, because I'm personally not proud generally of my play. There has been some extenuating circumstances. I haven't been able to study at all, which has not helped because I've been back to work. But this is my chance to learn something, and hopefully you guys will too. So, Ben, if you're ready, we're going to have a look at the first hand, which is not Queen Jack of Spades. It's actually Pocket Jacks. And guys, as you so eloquently put in the comments, you just want to hear from Ben. You really don't care what I think. So most of the time, I'm just going to let him speak, and then I'll offer. I've got a few notes here and there that I might, bring into the equation if necessary. But we're going to start off with Pocket Jacks, and Ben, I will just push the action through whenever you're ready.
Cool.
So 3-betting from the button, and we get 4-bet.
So just generally speaking, if you do have any notes on like who the villain is, whether or not they're recreational or a reg, whether or not they're tight or loose, if you've got anything, that'll be helpful.
Yeah. So what I've done is I've made a note of anything that's remotely relevant. Now, these are all from, like I said, I'm new to the pool, so I don't have that many hands. There's no there's no sample size above 300 for any of these hands. But I've made a note on anything that's above like 250 that seemed relevant. Everything else is like below 100. So if there's no note on it, it means I have no history and nothing to go off. Cool. Which means you're in the same boat as I am.
Great. So I think, we want to be calling mostly and shoving sometimes. Shoving probably like just as, if you're playing opponents you don't know, just going with pretty much solve ranges, pre-flop's a good idea. So shoving here about 15-20% of the time, but calling mostly.
Okay, we call. And we see 3-9-3.
Yeah.
And
go for it.
Opponent checks.
Yeah, so I definitely want to just start out betting here. I think when villain chooses not to take a bet here, we don't really have like enough reason to check and like allow like hands like ace queen offsuit that decided not to bet to realize, even a hand like ace 5. So I just definitely am just going to bet and stack this.
And sizing?
About 1/3 or 1/4 is fine.
We 1/3. And opponent calls, and we see a 7 of diamonds.
So I'm super thrilled now that they've called, and I think I'm pretty much just going to shove the turn. Similar reason on the flop for betting, like our hand's pretty vulnerable still, so just going to get it in. If you had queens, you can go small here again, but jacks is vulnerable to the queen as well, so I would just shove.
This is actually in the reverse order that I planned it, so this is actually from yesterday, and I do remember this was a tank call.
Tank call?
Tank call.
Okay, I guess maybe like ace queen of clubs. Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Unlucky, standard hand. Yeah. We move
to the second hand, so we're not even cutting, guys. We're just fucking blasting. So far, if we were playing punt or no punt, we'd be winning 1-0, but we're not.
Definitely.
We're playing lose all our stacks at 25 now. So it folds to cutoff, and he opens, and we 3-bet from the big blind, and opponent calls. If there's nothing to say about it, then I'll probably just move through, if that's okay with you, Ben.
Sure.
And we have now a situation where there's probably plenty to say.
Yeah, I mean, like we can pretty much range bet this flop, and the sizing we want to choose is around half pot to 2/3. Particularly with this hand, I think I want to bet more often than I want to check. But you definitely can mix in some check raises. I think just standard here is just a bet for half pot.
Looking good, Ben.
Beautiful.
And he calls.
Yep.
Turns to king of hearts.
Yeah. So we definitely have enough equity to bet call here, and we can generate folds. And obviously the king is just going to be a super high frequency barrel anyway. So I would just pretty much pure this combo on the turn. The worst thing is like checking here and then like allowing pocket like nines or like 8-7 or pocket sevens to check back. And then you kind of find yourself in a really, really horrible bluff spot because your blockers are terrible when like it becomes like a 3 of diamonds on the river, for example. So I think your highest EV is just to bet the turn for like 2/3 pot. You can even half range again.
So my problem here is with 2/3 is I bet like what you mean like 30, and then I've got like 40 left, and there's like a million in the middle. Do you know what I mean? It feels
but you're pushing your equity, and you're going to bet call anyway. You have like more than enough equity to call off.
I understand that solvers care so much less about SPR than I do, but it just feels a bit dirty to me. So I mean, I do bet, but I decided to go for a more of a. I mean, I guess what you're saying is like it does. I'm not going to. This combo is terrible for the river anyway, if it bricks, so it really makes no difference. Sizing for river, it's not really a thing here, you know.
Yeah, but to be honest with you, you're probably going to be following through on the river anyway, just because of how you block the king so heavily.
Right.
And villain's going to be forced into calling like hands like 10x of hearts. That's probably going to be forced into folding the river. So you actually do generate quite a lot of folds when you do bet the river with this hand.
Right.
So I think this will be one of the follow throughs.
Okay. Deuce of diamonds.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not super thrilled about it, but I'm pretty sure I will follow through with this one because you don't bet turn with hands like 6-7 or anything like that on the turn. So yeah, I would just pure shove this one and not feel great about it, but you have other hands like ace jack that you might check the river or ace jack of spades. Yeah, I would follow through.
All right, we give up. Opponent shoves.
Unlucky.
So
not a lot you can do here.
We just shove the river then.
I mean, yeah,
instead of checking.
I guess that it may well find some checks sometimes. Like you are going to pure bluff the queen jack of clubs and queen jack of diamonds here, and it may feel like a bit of an overbluff bluffing spades here, but I actually would just still follow through.
Okay, that's fair enough. I understand like where you're coming from there. We block like a couple of things that will probably call us down quite high frequency. So I guess, but I just felt like I always wanted him to have these kind of hands, but then I get that, but I think that would ordinarily be the case. For example, if the turn was like a 5 of hearts, and then you get this river, like I would be far less inclined to bluff. Whereas on a king turn where you're betting range and it hits you so well, and then the river breaks, I think it just makes more sense to shove. Right. Okay.
Cool.
So we'll go with that one, and unfortunate that we didn't. Opening up the queens, getting 3-bet, and going for a 4-bet.
Yeah, so 4-betting most of the time, but not always.
Yeah, same. And he calls. Flop is Jack 3-8.
Yeah, start out with a C-bet. That's good.
He calls. The turn's a 10 of clubs. So I included this one. I think this is probably just completely fine, but I included this one because I don't know what you think, but like my general experience of my stakes is that we've got some slow played aces, we've got some jacks, we've got some 10s. And then we've got some ace kings and some ace queens, maybe. Do I want to check this turn with the queen of clubs?
I think with your exact combo, this is going to be bet more frequently than like a hand like aces because you've got naturally more equity.
Yeah.
And also your hand just needs more protection. Whereas like aces like beats other hands and can't, like an overcard can't come, etc. That said, I think all of them kind of want to bet quite high frequency as it is. And actually, I don't mind mixing, but you can either shove the turn or you can block the turn again. I think I'm more inclined to shove queens than I am to block. I think aces I'd probably block again. But yeah, I wouldn't mix my turn sizing here, but I'm just saying that both of them are okay.
Okay. We shove.
Cool.
I'm just concerned that we just end up getting him to fold like lots and then just get called by what exactly? Like ace jack? Do you know what I mean?
Well, think of it this way. You're going to have ace queen here like a whole lot, which is going to absolutely be forced into banging it on the turn.
Yeah.
And if you're making those hands fold at any frequency, like you're printing anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
All right. Not worrying about it and jamming, and we get very quickly called.
Yeah. It's a horrible spot, obviously, but yeah.
By the king queen of hearts.
Beautiful.
And we win both runs then.
This is a complete disaster call on the turn from villain.
Yeah.
An absolutely disastrous call, but yeah, it's gone well.
Yeah. So You like that one? Next hand. King Jack of Hearts. And we get a call from a weaker looking player.
Yeah.
And a call from the big blind. And we see 6 Deuce Jack and it checks to us.
I just prefer checking in these spots, but the board is very dry, so you can actually bet if you wanted to. But yeah, three-way, obviously, you should be playing a lot more checks. This is one of the few textures that you actually will be able to bet this texture as well as a board like really A7 Deuce dry or something like that. So I don't mind going either way, but I would probably lean toward check. Unless I had reads on the imposition player.
Well, this guy I felt was weaker and he would pay me wider, so I decided to try and
I
get
don't know if I
some
saw
value.
this hand. Was this yesterday on stream?
Yeah.
Okay, I think I saw this hand.
You lurking, Ben?
Yeah, of course, always.
Oh, thanks, man. Anyway, he calls, and I mean, you have seen a few of these. So I've sent you a few because I whine and be like, Ben, why? Turns a 6.
Yeah. So again, you can go either way here. You can bet or you can check. I don't mind what you do.
You don't mind, yeah?
No, I don't mind betting and I don't mind checking here. Right. When you're playing against a recreational, like end of the day, you're just trying to extract as much money as you can. You have a good hand, so you can get away with betting.
9 of spades.
Yeah. You can go either way here. You can block. You can go 2/3. You can check call. You can bet tiny, like 1 big blind and call a raise. It's kind of really up to you again.
Okay. We go 20. We go 22 because that's the sizing
that we use. Sizing.
And we just get jammed on.
Yeah.
Quite quickly.
I guess like villain is going to have ace jack here as well. And they're also going to have a bunch, like it's super unlikely once they call a turn barrel for 2/3 that they have like hands like 7s and 8s. I mean, they may have pocket 9s given that they've shoved the river.
Yeah.
But I do think I prefer check the river and then call or check raise versus a really small bet. Just because you've gone through way to the flop, you bet twice on a ball pairing card and it's ranges are pretty narrow by the time you get to the river. So I probably do prefer check. As
played?
Definitely fold. With no reads, definitely fold.
Yeah, I didn't tank at all. I didn't use my whole time bank whatsoever.
Yeah, that's good.
I did.
I would just fold the river.
I was just tilting in that time bank. I wasn't even thinking. I was trying to work out what I knew I lost, but I was trying to work out why I lost to. We 3-bet 8-7 suited from the button.
How much are you 3-betting here? Because this is low frequency.
Half.
Were you tilted and were you 3-betting 100%?
No, half. This is half. I never do anything more than half, but it's in there.
Okay.
Is that all right?
I think you can 3-bet less than that. I think you can cold call some as well. But you're not really playing cold calls though, are you?
Yeah. No, I'm not playing any calls.
Okay, cool.
But you're okay with it. Oh, this hand sucks. Okay.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Check to us.
Yeah, betting half pot on the flop with pretty high frequency with this combo.
Okay.
There's a lot of good betting qualities.
I don't think this one's going to be good. I think this one's going to be the worst so far.
Okay. I mean, the small's okay, but I think I prefer a size up on the low pad board.
Okay.
You can even get away with 2/3 pot here as well on the flop. So it hits villain so infrequently.
Calls. 4 of diamonds, check.
Well, you do a pretty good job of blocking pocket 7s and pocket 8s. You've got some equity. This is going to be probably, I'm trying to think if this is a better barrel than a hand like Jack 10 suited, like Jack 10 of hearts. Probably.
Got a little gut shot.
Yeah, you got a gut shot. Yeah, I do. I think I lean on the side of betting here, particularly when you bet 1/3 on the flop and villain is forced into calling hands that maybe they ordinarily wouldn't. I don't know how well people are for betting, but like
King Queen of hearts.
Maybe versus pardon?
King Queen of hearts, something like that.
Yeah, or Ace Queen. I was thinking like loads of combos of Ace Queen with a spade was what I was thinking mainly. So yeah, and they're probably not going to be allowed to continue those on the turn. So yeah, I think barreling here is pretty good for like 22 big blinds.
Oh, you love to see that.
Yeah.
He calls. Deuce. Check. So
now you basically having hearts is really good here for sure, because and also having that's good, but having 7 blocking 7s and 8s is obviously really bad here, because those are probably some of the first hands you want villain to fold. That said, you do have no spades. I think you're probably meant to bluff this one pretty much every time. I feel really bad about it though.
Yeah, I felt horrendous about it.
I do think checking once you've taken this line would be really, really poor, though.
Oh, I mean,
in honesty.
if you were expecting good play, you've come to the wrong place.
Have you checked the river back?
Yeah. I just
Yeah,
didn't.
I mean,
I don't. I have no notes on this guy actually. Confirmed, no notes.
Yeah.
But I just like you said, blocking 7s and 8s, getting called by the turn, so he's not going to have like stuff like we wanted to fold him out on the turn because we did go quite large, so we can't just defend everything. I just expected him to have a bunch of like pocket 10s and jacks that just never fold.
Yeah, but does that mean are you gonna bluff a 10 jack here that you just barrel the turn with no equity?
I mean, you know, I love to barrel turns with no equity, so.
Okay. Well, if you honestly are going to follow through with hands like Jack 10, I mean, I'm pretty sure you have to follow through with this one as well. But yeah, I would follow through here.
I'm sorry. Well, anyway,
Wow.
I mean,
okay, made unbelievable savings.
Yeah, I know, but not, results.
Yeah,
I've got to keep an eye on the note tab just to see if I have any notes on anyone. I don't have anyone in this hand. This hand I do have reads. So this guy's a reg who watches my stream, and I knew this before the hand. Okay,
cool.
And he's always watching my stream, and he likes to critique my play. Don't know if that makes any difference to you. You got a lot of info to go off here. Anyway, flopping a set.
Cool.
And villain bets 1/3.
Yeah, mostly raising, pretty much exclusively raising bottom set actually.
We bang in 7 big lines.
Okay.
And
I think maybe 70% pot or something. So whatever that is, I think it'll be a tiny bit bigger, but it's fine.
The turn's okay. And he checks.
Okay. So I think that you want to have a sizing here that is kind of like looking to bet a really strong 10 plus here, and then some of your draws as well. I'm pretty sure you want to be sizing around between 70% pot and pot. I don't necessarily think it's going to be an overbet spot. Yeah, so I think it's going to be a large-ish sizing, and I think you pretty much want to bet this one most of the time again.
Yeah, I figured I'd have a bunch of 6Xs here as well that raises the flop, like 6-5 of clubs or something.
Yeah, absolutely, you're going to have some.
We go for 16, which seems
I like it.
about right. And opponent calls. For
what it's worth, I am just thinking that this might be a spot where you do only want to use an overbet on the turn, but because it's a single raise pot in the blinds, I'm not 100% sure. Obviously, it's difficult to know for sure.
And this is the spot where I'm not most interested. I guess it's pretty standard, but I just want to double check.
So yeah, I think you just want to use all in on the river.
Okay.
Just because now, like the bottom of your value bet range on the turn, which may have been like a hand like Ace 10, now cannot value bet the river. So your range becomes pretty much 6x plus, and the sizing that accommodates that is going to be all in. Yeah,
we are all in.
Yeah.
So pretty well played hand, although not complicated.
No, not too hard to play.
And our opponent actually dwell calls, which is not a good sign for my image with Queen 6.
That's not good for your image.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So
he spent about 10. I think it was about 10 seconds. But I don't. He beats value, so I'm pretty sure this is the snappiest of calls.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Next hand.
How tilted would you be if you got Jack 6 there?
Oh, beyond tilted.
So mad.
I'm always tilted. Right. Limp under the gun. Oh, this is dreadful. God, why am I so bad?
Any reads? No reads?
No, just the limp under the gun. Do you need anything else?
No.
We ISO and he calls. 6-5-6. Check.
I've seen this hand as well. This was yesterday. Yeah, I'm definitely betting. Probably bet about anywhere between 1/3 and half pot. Yeah, fine.
Oh, okay. That's nowhere near what you said, but we'll take it.
I mean, again, like it's kind of like the low pad board that doesn't hit the villain's range. You can just bet. So you can bet bigger with this kind of hand and bet smaller with, I don't know, Jack 10 or whatever.
Yeah. Deuce. Check.
Yeah. Definitely 2 barreling.
Size?
2/3 pot's fine.
That's my Ben button. You set me up with that one.
Yeah.
I just click the button that says bet.
66%.
Yeah. And he min clicks.
Fold. Yeah, I wouldn't even think about this. I think that just like it's a really, really simple spot by which you are unable to attribute like to credit villain enough capability to bluff an unknown player that's limp called under the gun. Unless you had stats versus like a complete unknown, I would just pure fold the turn here versus a recreational. If I had stats, like if they were like in remotely bluffy or had a note that they'd ever bluffed or whatever, I would just call, but versus an unknown, I would fold the turn.
51 on the river.
Fold. Because even now, hands like 7-8 that did decide to turn bluff, like now they ruled a pair and they won't bet. So I would fold. You also have a jack of hearts, which is not good.
So I'm the worst.
You've called.
Yeah, of course.
I don't actually remember what he had, but yeah, I think it was it pocket fives?
No.
Crusty. Makes sense though. Yeah.
I hate myself and my life.
Yeah, I mean, they've given you an opportunity to fold.
Yeah.
You just haven't taken it.
I certainly haven't. If he'd jammed the river, I probably would have folded as well, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the worst.
Again, though, I want to say that like this is not like... You will find just some random like king 10 offsuit occasionally, but like you've just got no reads whatsoever, so you just have to assume that they've got it in a spot.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's a complete unknown.
Yeah, seems fair to me, buddy. We're keeping it going. Big blind, ace 9 of hearts.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, this hand.
This looks painful experience for you. Just watching all these hands.
So painful because
Have you won a hand yet?
There are winning hands in here.
Okay.
I had queens and I won on 2 runs against king, queen of hearts.
Oh yeah, okay.
I do win some hands in here. Most of them are losing though, because I've mostly lost money. We check an opponent. So here, as soon as I see this, I'm like, right, I'm against a good thinking player. Yeah,
absolutely. It's a really good board to be betting pot. I mean, there are a number of strategies you can use, but this is going to be one of them.
Yeah, and I'm fully aware that when I know I have to call, I'm fully aware I'm expecting overbets on the turn as well.
Yeah.
I know this because I can only have pocket fours. This is my best hand, and then there's only 3 combos of that, and then he just has all the ace king, all the good stuff.
And you've got your entire Twitch chat saying you should fold the flop.
I didn't actually have anyone saying I fold the flop. This one they let me get away with. The 9 on the turn.
Okay, well, you're unfoldable now.
Check, overbet.
Yep, call. So you'll just never be playing any raises like in these lines on these boards.
It's impossible. Yeah. So I have pocket fours. I don't have pocket 9s. I've got ace 4.
Yeah.
So pocket fours and ace 9 are literally my best 2 hands. Villain goes all in. Cool. I mean, I included this because I hate life, basically.
Yeah, it sucks, but like...
I was so excited that I was looked up. I was against I'm against a really good thinking player here. You know, he's gonna have queen jack with like nothing. No, he just has ace king.
Yeah, that's really annoying.
Yeah. Anyway, never mind.
Nothing you can do there. No. I think that if it was like a brick run out or whatever, then you can start folding ace 9 on the river.
Yeah, of course. Probably the turn or not.
Well, the thing is your 9's actually a really good card to hold because you're better off calling a ace 9 than you are ace like ace queen or ace jack.
Unblock those, yeah.
Definitely.
Anyway, we're moving on and we're 3 betting. This is dreadful too. Cold.
None of these have been dreadful, really.
Cold call. Yeah, the Jacks was bad. Yeah, thanks, man. Cold call. So that's all the information you probably need.
Okay, you sent me this hand already.
Yes, I did.
So yeah, I remember saying I would have checked the flop, but I know you bet.
But you didn't hate it. You just would prefer to.
No, I didn't hate it, and like I think I said to you in when we chatted, was that when a recreational cold calls, their range is so condensed around that kind of like 10, 9, 8, 9, 10s, jacks, ace queen, king queen, ace king.
Yeah.
Maybe less ace king. So I basically will just play super straightforwardly, and I'll bet like my overpairs, and I will check call a hand like ace king, hoping to realize.
Min raise.
Yeah, I definitely would call with my heart and overs. I'm hating it though.
Oh, I hate it. 3 of hearts.
Yeah.
Check. Weirdness.
Yeah, I think that just it's really annoying once you've got picked up a flush draw on the turn. I think I just put it in, and because you do okay against 10s and jacks. Hopefully they don't have a heart either, so you've got very good equity. Pots already 73 big blinds. It's grim, but yeah, I would probably.
I don't think you've seen the results of this one, have you?
No, I think I just said I would go all in, and you did.
I did.
Yeah.
I'm dead. Stone
Oh,
dead.
awesome. Ace five of hearts.
No. Aces.
It's so yeah, it sucks. So even more so, like if Rex are cold calling aces as well,
Yeah.
like it gives you even more reason to kind of just bet your good hands and check your marginal ones like this.
I mean, I've never seen anyone call here before, so
yeah, I haven't either actually.
Never mind. We'll go with that one. 10-9 of diamonds.
Yeah.
Rolling the 3-bet again, Ben.
Okay.
Don't have any calls.
Yeah, and this is definitely a hand I like to call, but with rake and stuff.
God.
Mm-hmm.
Retrospective tilt.
Presumably you're going to go 1/3, similar to the 6-6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, you can size up here.
Okay. Call. 4.
This is so similar to the other hand as well.
Check.
Definitely 1 or 2 barrel.
22.
Blocking 9s and 10s as well is really nice.
Jam.
Fold.
We do fold. Good.
Yeah, those are frustrating, but yeah, you can't.
That
do
one was
there.
fine. Size up flop, bet turn, fold to jam.
Yeah, and you obviously like if you have a hand like ace queen of diamonds, you just bet call it on the turn.
Yeah, cool. Because you can have stuff like 10s. Right?
Yeah, exactly. And like by that point, equity and pot size.
Queen 10 of hearts, 3-bet the small blind, call from the cutoff. Deuce 3 deuce.
Half pot or 2/3 pot, up to you.
Half pot.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking, I should have gone slightly bigger here.
Yeah, I mean, the deuce 3 can definitely is one of those you can size up on.
King turn.
Yeah. Okay, let me just remember studying that I've done. So that I think versus the button and cutoff, you exclusively go 2/3 on the turn, and versus under the gun and MP, you block the turn.
Right.
So this is going to be a spot where you can anywhere between half and 2/3. I think is better than the block. A lot of people block here incorrectly, but it's versus earlier positions you block.
Right. Accidental genius. Well, 22.
Yeah, that's good.
Cool.
Yeah, so you're blocking King Queen of Hearts, which a villain will probably call. You are unblocking spades. Blocking 10s isn't ideal, but you have a pretty mandatory follow through here.
Cool. I mean, I'd like to know the difference between this and like the Jack 10 of diamonds hand that we did on punt or no punt. That's just horrendous, and then this is standard. So just wanted to include this one just to make sure.
Nice.
It was fine.
Yeah, I like your line a lot here.
We get it through.
Finally,
You'd love
red
to
line
see
winner.
it. I know. You absolutely love to see it.
Yeah.
10s in the big blind, 3-bet, call.
Yeah, you want to be calling 10s here in the big blind some as well. Like half the time.
Okay, thank you.
4% of the time.
I knew that. Check or bet?
This is one of those spots where monotone boards are really, really difficult to play because the varying different connectivity of the high or the low cards makes a big difference to how much you see bet and don't. But generally speaking, I'll use a very small sizing here as my c-bet sizing, somewhere like 15% pot, and this hand will feature sometimes.
Check.
Fine.
Check.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to ask, are you checking here because you don't really know what to do on the monotone flop, or are you checking because of the hand, or... I know I'm asking that genuinely because it's difficult.
I know that I either want to bet very small or check. And so this time I checked, and I guess I just had a number that was low.
Sure. Okay. That's reasonable. Yeah. So I think you want to probably check the turn, but I actually think that this might find its way into a bet sometimes as well. But I think checking is pretty standard.
We check. Less than half pot.
Standard call.
Standard call. This is the spot I'm interested in.
Yeah. We have a standard check call. Hopefully he doesn't go all in.
You
going to donk the river?
Yeah, I do. I donk the river.
Okay.
Is that all right? What is that when it's at home?
Let me think.
I was just trying to get the cry call from the ace queen.
Yeah, I mean, exploitably, I'm actually equally unsure exploitably as well as theoretically. I would say that you don't have a one heart advantage here. I don't think. Because you are relatively incentivized to bet your high heart holdings on the flop, unless it's exactly a hand like aces with a heart or like a nut flush, but that's not a one heart hand. So I don't think you have enough reasons here to bet to lead the river. I think you have more reasons to check.
Okay.
or equal reasons to check. Yeah. Yeah, you've been so punished.
Ben.
So villain's gonna have to be bluffing like sets here
Right.
for this to be, or sets or two pairs for this to be kind of a call. I imagine you're meant to fold pretty much always here, and but to be honest with you, like because you've led the river, it's just such an unknown node for me as well. So I think I would probably fold.
Yeah, we're into unknown territory here because I'm so bad. We fold.
Yeah, I would just check call the river. That's any bet pretty much.
Yep. 3-bet.
Yep.
Call. 8 deuce 8.
Yeah. So this is now the board pair is getting a little bit higher. You can start to size down a bit more. So I mean, like 30-40% is fine here. Yeah.
We go for the small bet and he calls ace on the turn. Check.
Okay. I think you just want to pure check this combo on the turn. Even though the ace is a really good card for us, and maybe even a range bet. That's actually possible. I think you probably should do some checking. So yeah, I don't mind checking. You've got other ace X to bet here as well.
I check. Queen on the river, check.
So I'm going to bet the river, and I'm going to use 2/3 pot, I believe.
22.
Nice.
Raise.
Oh god, what a grim one as well.
Yeah.
So in terms of like how capped we are, we're definitely not capped here. Like we have pocket aces, we have pocket queens.
Pocket eights.
We're going to have ace queen occasionally. Obviously going to have quads. So I don't actually feel that we're anywhere near the top of our range here. I don't know if that means like how much ace X we need to be defending. I think I would probably lean on the side of calling occasionally, but not often at all, just to be defending some ace X here, because you're going to have some ace queen as well. I think I'll call sometimes. Yeah, I'll probably call like maybe 15-20% of the time, but fold mostly.
This is where you go for the side fold.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I do think pure folding, though, would probably be a mistake.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to sim that one after. It's interesting.
Cool. But seems fine.
Yeah, definitely seems fine.
Open the queens, 3-bet, and we have a note. And this note is...
What the hell does that say?
This note is just to tell you who it is. So this is a guy that's a good reg from my Discord. So he knows me well. And he posted a graph recently before this. It was a small sample, but an absolutely murderous graph. Like pure crush. Yeah.
So good reg.
Yeah.
Okay, so full betting like
good reg,
a small percent of the time, 10-15% of the time.
Yeah. And we roll a call. I'm actually was just going half, but we call. Okay. 3-7-5. This is only interesting because of Villain's spot, because I think Villain wanted to know, and I think mine is just completely standard, but I wanted to know about what his, so I included it in anyway because I do what I like.
And also just to note, you're 130 big deep start hand as well.
He starts out half pot.
Okay, yeah. I think that Villain needs to be checking this flop a lot when you're a bit deeper and versus MP here, because they do not have any of the sets here, whereas you have all of them at some frequency.
Yeah.
And I think the sizing they want to choose is actually probably bigger than this as well. I think it's about going to be a 2/3 pot.
Okay.
But we have sorry.
This spot is the only other interesting thing in the hand, I would imagine, because a few people want me to raise here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely not stacking off 130 big blinds with queens here for raising the flop. So like, and I'm not going to raise fold the flop. I don't think you want to play any raises in position here actually. So I would just call. Your range is so well intact at every point here. You have sets, you have overpairs as well. So it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to raise.
That's what I was thinking. That's one for you, Hurley. We go for the
again
call.
though, Simit, I might be wrong.
Nah, come on, don't do this to me. I just gloated. You can't do that to me now.
Okay.
Turn, he goes for 28.
Okay, we have a mandatory call on the turn.
Yeah, and then river he jams, and we have a mandatory call. But I wanted to know what you thought of Villain's line.
Oh, wow. I think it's okay. I think it's probably a little 100 big blinds. It's not an overplay. I think
Yeah.
130 big blinds is an overplay.
I-
Not a huge overplay, but like I think it's a small overplay.
Hmm.
I actually think in Pyro this will be standard though.
Yeah.
But I think in reality it's a bit of an overplay because you're meant to have kings here like a lot of the time, like 35-40% of the time. So like even at 100 big blinds. So I mean even versus, it's just because it's versus MP it's thin. If this was versus button it'd be super standard. Cut off pretty standard. MP I think is getting a little bit thin.
He did say that because it was me, he expected me to 4-bet queens pre-flop a lot more than I would normally. Against him because he knew the dynamic. So he's expecting his pocket pair to be the best one and to lose it to some sets sometimes, and that'd be okay.
But I mean, like on this run out, like you can't really make a mistake with pocket jacks. Like it is the cleanest run out ever. Yeah.
He said he was targeting 8s, 9s, and 10s, which makes sense.
Well, yeah, of course he's targeting those, but that's not your overall range.
Yeah.
Your overall range consists of like straights, ace-4 suited.
I was the only one that thought it was thin.
Really? I'm surprised. It's versus MP is just like definitely thin.
Yeah.
130 big stick.
I thought it was thin, but quite a lot of people were saying this completely standard. So I was interested to include it.
I find that really interesting that people say this is standard when in reality, like the amount of times I see the chat saying like, you've got to fold this spot because no one ever bluffs. But then this one for some reason isn't thin.
I imagine it's dynamic.
Quite contradictory.
I imagine he said he's not doing this against someone else. So
no, but I'm talking about the overall general theme of the chat.
Yeah. Of course. But they ignore the times where you're right. So come on, man.
Nice hand there.
Thank you.
Fold.
Not even a mix.
Never. A9 suited is one of the worst hands to call a 3-bet. You won't even defend here. Cut off versus small blind, even like much more than like.
When do I start calling 8-7?
Well, like 8-9 is pretty much the not worst hand to call because 10 Jack Queen gives Ace King a straight.
Right. Okay. I'll fold next time. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, that's all right.
I imagine you won't be able. Your computer won't work anymore now that I'm here.
No, I mean
God.
We get this slot. Chill.
Come on, man. Have you never seen one? You've never seen these slot before because you've never called here before.
Mate, I used to do this for years, and I always wondered why I got overflushed and overstraighted every other hand.
All right, sorry.
When I did it.
This one doesn't go much better.
Give a check raise.
22.
And
a call. Can you think of a like the nut low turn and just say it?
10 of diamonds.
Oh, it's close.
So you actually do okay job of blocking the 7 with your 7-8 with your 8 of clubs. I think the standard here is to. I have a feeling you're going to shove the turn, but I think you should block the turn or check shove the turn.
Why do you have a feeling I'm going to shove?
I actually think second.
Why do you have a feeling I'm going to shove?
Because you've got quite a lot of equity and you don't want to check.
I thought you were leading on the side. I've got a feeling you shove because you're awful. And you're supposed to check.
I think the standard is to shove here.
Right.
I prefer checking the turn. I think that's what I would do on the turn. It is such a bad card for you that you do probably need to check.
Come on, Ben. Have a bit more respect on my name.
God.
20.
And then I go all in.
Oh. Okay, no respect anymore.
No, I mean, calling's okay, but
I just thought he was just he's just gonna call. He's just gonna call.
Yeah, but what happens if he's got a hand like, I don't know, ace jack of spades here, or like pocket 9s? I know it's hard for him to have pocket 9s or pocket 8s. Like you're gonna make those hands fold at least some of the time, and like by calling, you realize, but you.
I look so strong as well, don't I? Really?
Yeah, you also look pretty strong when you call, honestly. But like you should, if you're gonna take this line where you call the turn, you need to start donk shoving when you make your hand.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely donk shoving.
And on some bluffs as well. So maybe like a 10, you need to bluff shove as well.
I'm absolutely ripping the river if I don't brick.
Okay.
Check.
Definitely wouldn't shove on that river.
Jam. Hate life.
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why you don't call that nice. It's a true out of position.
Even when you flop the absolute world, it still goes terribly. Damn it.
I don't know, mate. Honestly, I don't know. I probably call sometimes and fold sometimes.
We folded.
Yeah. I think you need to check shove the turn when you do check. That was probably the part of the hand where the only bit that I would probably play differently.
Seems good.
Yeah.
Ace Jack of spades. I hope we're recording.
We
Ace Jack of
were on
spades.
so many
Cold,
hands.
cold call.
Okay.
I always get that feeling in the back of my head. Wait, I'm sure it's fine.
Do you want to check?
No, I'm sure
Okay.
it's fine. Ace Jack of spades. We'll check
Yeah.
halfway through. And a cold call, and then another call,
Yeah.
and a check.
I would check the flop.
I'm awful.
No, I mean, again, it's okay, but like it just makes a bit more sense to check.
I tend to veer on the side of betting when there's a weaker player in the pot.
Yeah, but you have to remember that like the weaker player isn't the only person in the pot. There's
Yeah.
another guy in the pot.
There's also me, who's also a weaker player.
I mean, betting's fine here with ace jack.
Okay, call.
Okay.
Oh, you're gonna love this hand, Ben. You're gonna love this hand.
Okay.
Check,
Mhm.
check. Jack,
Yeah,
check. Ben,
I would definitely bet the river.
how much?
Small, like 15 big blinds.
Ben,
Oh, well played.
you'd love it. You'd love to see it. Anyway, villain 71 just rips it in.
Yeah. Easy fold.
Easy fold.
Yeah.
I went into the tank.
There's no way you've called here.
I went into the tank. Okay, I must explain
Yeah.
myself a bit, and I came out with a call.
Oh no, you've called.
Yeah, and you know what it is? I'd actually have the note on here, but I had just played a hand against this guy, which is not in this set of hands, which was a complete and total whale off. An absolute whale off.
Okay, sure, yeah, and obviously I'm saying fold versus an unknown.
Yeah.
If you've got a read, if you have an actual like a solid read on someone to be able to call, then you can call. But I mean, like, I even with a read, I probably wouldn't call this spot. It's three-way call to c-bet, combos of 8-9 and king queen, and then obviously like some kind of quad tens as well that could potentially be there. I would still fold.
But like the turn, you're surely going to bet a 10. I block Jack 10 suited. That would do this sometimes. I block Ace 10 suited, the only combo left.
Yeah, but the main combos that the villain has is 8-9 and king queen. That neither of which bet the
You
turn.
think he rips Ace 8-9 and king queen? I don't know.
Well, you just said that they're a maniac, so maybe if they're going to shove like pocket threes here, then surely they're going to shove king queen.
Yeah, I didn't think he was going to shove 8-9, and king queen was the thing that I thought I would lose to. I said that on stream. I'll lose to king queen here, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have a boat because I block aces and he flatted pre, so he doesn't really have aces. He can have sevens, but you bet the turn. 10x would bet the turn. I block Jack 10 suited. I block ace 10 suited.
But what are you hoping to find then?
An absolute whale off.
Like what?
Well, I mean, let's have a look. Queens.
Jeez. Well, yeah, fair enough. I mean, with some kind of read, you can definitely start calling sometimes in these kind of spots. Just three-way generally, I would just really err on the side of caution.
Oh, everyone hated this.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this one.
But I literally had just played a hand. It was probably like 10 hands before.
Okay.
That I played a hand against him that he gave me as a stack. So you're okay?
He tried to win this one hard.
He did. He really did.
Yeah.
But we had his number. I was happy with the call anyway. Never mind. Open. Fold. Small blind call. Check.
Proceeding with quite a lot of caution on this texture, but I do think this hand can bet. It can defend versus a raise as well.
We go small.
Okay.
Right with
Yeah,
that?
I think versus this, it's quite an unknown spot because we're versus a small blind cold call here, and not many people call small blind. But I would guess that betting smaller is better versus the small blind, and versus the big blind, betting a bit more polarized is better.
5.
Yeah, I'm going for this now. Once they check called the flop.
By going for this, how much you want to wager here?
Like my turn sizing on this texture is 132.
Oh no, I've absolutely butchered it.
Yeah, you need to overbet because you need to start making them fold hands like 8x where they don't fold that versus this.
Yeah,
sizing.
I completely agree. This is not completed any draws or anything.
Yeah,
this is just poor. Sorry, Ben.
It's a bit of a meek sizing. I mean, like I'm convinced if you had jacks on the turn here, you wouldn't bet 2/3 pot.
Yeah, I'm the worst. Is that what you want to hear?
I'm definitely no. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear you playing well and crushing.
It's not happening, though, is it? Anyway, so we should have overbet the turn and then down the river, but we didn't.
Yeah.
And now we're here.
Overbet the river.
How much?
132% again. So like 30 big blinds. Yeah. I'm a fan.
Chat wanted 2x pot.
Yeah, again, like overbet, so an overbet 2x pot's fine. Yeah, it's fine. But the issue is that like, yes, your ace clubs is good, but like villain does have flushes still in their range, so you're not allowed to just go 2x pot.
Yeah. In hindsight, I'm really sad about this hand because I could have won this pot, but he does end up calling after half a time back with queen 10.
Yeah. See if because well, who knows, if you had overbet turn and overbet river, maybe they still would have called, but you definitely should generate more folds.
Kings. Button call, big blind call. Oh,
okay.
Fuck this hand.
Check.
Check.
So there's quite a theme of you betting three-way.
I'm just going to start checking every single
as
hand.
the middle play. Yeah, but the point is that like when you're heads up, you need to be checking so much out of position, and you check way more when it's three-way. And that's 3 out of 3 hands you bet 2/3 pot three-way in the middle of the sandwich. So yeah, checking way more just to kind of like pot control and to find ranges a little bit more would be helpful.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, this is. Honestly, again, I'm not sure, but I'm almost leaning towards folding the flop.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do.
Yeah,
I didn't.
Because if you check and then villain stabs the flop, and you can like either check raise or check call, you've kept the pot smaller, which is like not really good enough reason, but you've actually you're allowing villain's range to remain as wide as possible. Whereas when you bet and you've got raised, like that kind of width of the range has suddenly become like minute, and you're in a problem spot. I probably, in reality, I would, unless if I didn't have any reads, I'd probably call flop, and then depending on turn sizing, maybe call again. But generally speaking, this is going to be unreal like sets, or like jack X of diamonds.
And so let's move on to the next hand.
I guess we call.
No.
Oh no, Nick!
No. Ben.
So when when I said the range is this wide, then it's this wide. It is now like you can't even see the how narrow it is.
Oh, this one actually chat was fine with. And I feel horrendous about this one now.
Yeah.
He jams and we just pay him. Obviously we have to call now.
Yeah, you have to call once you've done this. But like best case scenario, he has jack X of diamonds.
Yeah, or 10-9 of diamonds. Well, yeah.
Best case. And what's that equity? Like 40%?
I'm not happy about this one, Ben. Anyway.
Let's see what they have. All right, they've just got sixes probably.
Oh, absolutely. Of course they do. I said they had sixes and they just do have sixes, but anyway, terrible. Yeah.
No, but just the lesson is important to be learned that you just play more passively when you're multi-way. And when you, by the way, one of the things, when you do bet, it might feel like because you're betting so low frequency, you want to size up. It's the opposite. You want to size down and you want to bet less as well.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry, Ben.
No worries.
That's how we can make up for it here. 3-bet. Cold call.
These games look pretty good,
Yeah, they've got me in them, so they fucking are.
They look awesome. So much cold calling.
Oh, this hand tilted me more than any other hand that I've played in the last 2 weeks.
Okay.
It's so
bad.
Like
we're three-way here, but we are in position and like it's fairly dry, so we can see bet. But when we do see bet, small, even smaller.
Okay, sorry.
Like 6 or 7 big blinds, fine.
2 calls. Oh, like this hand is so bad, Ben. Check.
So I'd lean on the side of pot controlling here and check back.
You're completely right.
I think betting's okay, but I would probably check back.
This is so bad.
You haven't gone all in, have you? Okay, fine.
22. Jam. Tumbleweed.
Yeah, no. So like this is annoying because like villain can have like 6-5, 4-5.
Yeah.
Maybe even pocket fives.
So the ace of spades was a particularly bad card to have.
Yeah, I guess ace queen of spades and ace 4 of spades are possible. Yeah, that is probably true.
Ace 5 of spades.
Yeah, ace 5 of spades as well. It doesn't call flop with ace 5 of spades.
I mean, who knows? Honestly.
Yeah, I think I'd probably fold. I think this is actually really close.
I was actually really pissed off with myself that I bet and then folded. That was the main thing I was so pissed off with.
Yeah.
Because I could have just checked.
Yeah.
If I'm going to bet, I should know what I'm going to do against a jam, and I had no idea. It was almost like a jam could never happen, and that just really fucked me off. Do you know what I mean?
The reason a lot of your hands are so difficult is because people are going multi-way a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, Similar to what I said before. Anyway, I would just probably just reluctantly fold the turn. It's one of those spots, if your head's up here and you 3-bet and 2-barrel, you just call off happily. But when you're 3-way, like, ranges become like a bit stronger, so fold.
Yeah. Anyway.
What was the plan at the river brick there? Were you going to shove?
No, I just check back.
See, I think if the river did brick, I think you need to follow through with it because of the nature
It depends
of
on the river, but yeah.
Yeah, if it's like a jack or something like that, I think the villain's going to be playing pretty honestly on the turn by shoving their value, so yeah.
Small 3-bet, we call.
Okay.
3, 5, 10.
Yeah.
Check. I was check raising.
Yeah.
7 on the turn.
Okay, so it depends what your turning strategy here. So there's a number of strategies you can use. You can half pot with a lot of your range, or you can overbet with a small portion of your range. You can split into a block and an overbet. I personally prefer just one sizing of pot or more on the turn. And I think this hand actually can bet sometimes, but mostly check.
Awful.
I think the side, no, I think, well, it's not awful because you're still betting, but I think it's a little bit on the small side.
Yeah.
And you can, like, he probably has like plus EV call with like ace king here, which is like, you don't really want to be allowing in those parts of his range. I know you have a hand like that beats ace king, but you want to think about your overall range, what it wants to do. And I think that 6-5 makes for a really good turn check call. Like it's really well protected. So
yeah, I agree.
You want to just think about like betting big or checking.
He calls 8 of hearts.
So I think you want to have, because the SPR is so big now, I want to have 2 sizes on the river. I want to have like, only because you've sized your sizing on the turn, I think you actually now want to be able, you still want to bet a hand like pocket 9s on the river. You probably still want to bet a hand like, I mean, you called 8-9 suited earlier, so maybe 8-9 suited as well.
Okay.
So probably like my sizing is going to be block and then like either a big sizing of like overbet or maybe just all in. So maybe like small and all in.
So we're bluffing.
This hand I would definitely check the river with. It's close to a value bet at the 5-6.
Oh, okay. You definitely want to check. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I thought you were saying I thought you were saying I had to bet. As you would.
No, I'm talking about with your over. So I'll always like think about your range first.
Right. Okay.
And then think about where does this hand fall within that sizing scheme.
Yeah, I was getting really worried there for a second. I'll check.
You can value bet this hand though, by the way.
That's hilarious. I can't.
For like quarter pot on the river, I think it's reasonable to value bet this hand.
Okay.
So you don't really rep straights. You rep sets, but I think I'd probably call this hand. I think I'd probably pure call it just based on your turn sizing and allowing villain into the pot with some overcards.
Yeah, exactly what I was thinking. Anyway, we do decide to look him up. And it's good.
Nice.
Pretty much exactly what you said.
Yeah.
So
it's gone well. It's gone well in terms of your sizing, but like this is a really good example of when you bet small on the turn, the bet sizing didn't achieve as much as maybe it could have done. So if you'd sized up, you then.
I beg to differ. I got a big whale off on the river.
It's gone perfectly.
Exactly what I wanted.
The plan has fallen into place.
I know where the halfway point is, so I'm just going to keep going until we reach it. If that's okay.
Sure.
3-bet, 4-bet. Oh, okay. So villain is a reg 2017 8, like 500 hands.
Wait, 2017?
2017 8.
Okay, cool. Yeah, just cool.
I need to get rid of this little box. Hang on. There you go. We call ace 3 4 rainbow. Small bet.
Cool.
Yeah. 4 turn check.
So you're going to have ace queen. You're going to have ace king here. I do think ace jack is going to bet sometimes, but I think it's mostly going to check.
Okay. And if it bets?
It's definitely a block sizing. Okay.
Not the end of the world?
Definitely not the end of the world.
Okay.
I think it's good.
Check.
I think your hand becomes too thin to shove now.
We check.
Because even ace 10 offsuit doesn't ever find 4-bet bluff pre-flop. Ace 10 suited will. Yeah. But that's pretty much the only combo exactly. That's in villain's 4-bet bluff, like in inverted commas range that you beat. So I would check road.
Ace queen.
Yeah, well played. Well played by both.
Yep, I like his play too. And this is the halfway point. And
Okay.
this hand is fucking bullshit.
I see you've been working on your mental game hard
Hang on,
while I've been away.
Is this it? I'm not sure if this is it. No, this is not. This is not it.
Okay.
Sorry. No, this is not it. Anyway, this hand.
Yeah. So this is an interesting one because, like, in equilibrium, villain needs to be playing leads here, like, so much at the time. So when they check, the whole tree is kind of skewed. Okay. But I think Jacks is going to be one of the hands you want to bet more frequently because of its vulnerable nature.
How happy with sizing, or do you want to go bigger?
You know what? I kind of take back what I said, actually. I think you might want to actually pure check this flop back.
Sorry. Okay.
But sizing wise, yeah, I'm quite a fan. I think maybe like this or maybe slightly bigger is better. But yeah.
Okay.
God. Yeah, I mean, like, in theory, again, you just stack it every time.
All right, that's fine then. We're stacking it. Let's go with
it's really unideal. Like, you're hoping to find 6-5 or pocket fives, but even if you find ace queen of diamonds, you're not in good shape at all.
Calls it off. Pocket fives.
Oh well, you got it in good, and it's pretty much best case scenario.
Yeah, pretty fair. Oh yeah, the turn, pretty good scenario. Yeah, I agree.
Pretty clean run out.
Very fantastic. Ace queen of hearts. Raise against a small stack. Call. Jack 9-5, check.
Yeah. So I think you want to be using about 1/3 pot and not betting much at all. Oh, it's a short stack. Okay, sure. Okay. So presumed recreational.
Yeah.
Okay.
Queen turn, pot.
All in.
All in. Great.
Yeah.
Happy days. He folded. So next hand, ace queen. We squeeze.
Big squeeze.
That's my standard squeeze in these 3 big blind, 3 big blind.
Okay.
What do you want to make it? 14?
13, but yeah, whatever.
13? Okay. Maybe I'm just going too big here in general. You think that's too big?
It's a little bit too big, but I mean, you can't really go too far wrong.
I get so many calls that I just started making it 15.
Okay.
3 deuce 10.
Half pot for range.
And then jam turn.
Well, we'll see what the turn is first.
Jam every turn.
Just bang it in on a deuce.
With the designs of only having a one sizing turn. I mean, is that all right? Not really.
Yeah, no, it is all right. And I realised that you did squeeze massive, so actually half pot's probably a bit too big. So actually the sizing is a bit better.
Come on, Ben.
Yeah, sorry, I misread the situation.
That's all right. He calls.
So we're now going to be betting a lot of overcards. I think actually on the 3 we can still bet some with the queen of spades. Having the ace of clubs is pretty hurtful here.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you can go both ways. I probably would mix the turn. I probably bet. You have to remember you also have king queen as well, which is a lot of combos that you might have squeezed pre. So and you've got ace 5 as well, which is a much better bet than ace queen. But I still would bet sometimes. And if I'm going to bet, I'm going to bet like 20 big blinds.
Okay.
Or 22, obviously.
Obviously. 15.
Yeah, I mean, it's okay. The thing is that with this sizing, you're not really making him fold pocket 4s, 3 pocket 9s now. Whereas if you go a bit bigger, you actually might do.
Okay.
Giving such a good price to those cards.
But not the end of the world?
Not the end of the world, no.
Cool.
And you have to follow through on spades and king. And one unbelievably good river.
What a river.
Pure shove the river.
All of it to go.
You're going to lose, aren't you?
Tank.
Okay, you win. 10-9?
Jacks. Happy with villains play?
Yeah, I am. I probably...
Jam turn.
Yeah, actually, I think versus block, jamming turn makes quite a lot of sense, actually.
I like jam turn.
But also folding... The queen is such a bad river, but you are going to follow through with, like, every single non-queen hand.
What a river.
So, yeah.
You love to see it. And this...
Yeah. Sorry, one more thing also, actually. Jacks blocks. You'd rather call pocket 9s than jacks here because you don't value shove a 10 on the river, I wouldn't guess.
No.
And jacks do block a lot of the bluffs, king jack and ace jack, particularly.
Not a good call, then, probably, on this river particular.
I don't know. The pot's so SPR so small by the river, so maybe it's okay.
Okay. This is the halfway point. Fuck this hand. 3 bet.
Yeah.
Benjamin.
Mix.
Cool.
Mostly 4 bet, but yeah. Okay.
Mostly 4-bet. Okay. We got a
I
note.
think so.
We got a note. Let's bring it up. Oh, what the hell is this? Bit wacky is our note.
I would definitely 4-bet in that case.
Okay. Whoops.
It's all good. It's fine.
We call?
Yeah.
Check. Pot.
Wow. Yeah, that is unideal. The sizing. I mean, I'm just getting this in one way or another, and protection is definitely a thing here. So I will just check raise the flop. I won't feel good about it at all. But with this sizing, like, it's really conceivable the villain can have a 9 or pocket 10s.
Okay. So you just want to, I guess, shove, or what do we do? Min
raise? No, I'd raise small. Raise
okay.
like to 36 big blinds, something like that.
We call. I figured that against these big bets, I want to have less raises, but maybe I'm just.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of is true, but you also need to think about protection as well.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway. And how much EV will raising generate compared to calling? I think EV of raising is higher.
Mm-hmm. We do call, and the turn is a Dewey.
Mm-hmm.
And he checks back.
Great.
And the river's a 4.
Mm. Okay, so my thinking here is that I wouldn't have called. Would you call the flop with 8s?
Probably not.
Okay, so like when I'm thinking about the sizing scheme on the river here, I'm always thinking about the bottom of my value bet range, and like my mind went immediately to, do I want to bet a hand that's worse than a 9? And if I arrived here in this node, I actually would. It's whether or not do you think you can value shove a 9?
You want to shove?
Which I think you probably can, given that they size of the flop and check the turn.
Right.
Yes, villain will have aces, and I think that's reasonable. Like, aces is definitely going to be one of the hands that wants to check the turn a lot. But like, I think that when they do check the turn, they're extremely weighted towards hands that don't beat pocket jacks.
Yeah.
But again, with sizing, it's kind of, again, up to you. I probably would just go all in with jacks, and then value bet like a 9 for all in as well. And if I had like 6-7 suited, I bet like I block the river or something like that.
Okay, I decided to check.
I think this is a bit of an underplay with your hand.
But the guy is mad. So
yeah.
I figured I'll let him do it for me, kind of thing. And then he'll just fold all of his like ace highs, and he may just bluff them off. That's what I thought.
Yeah. So with very little information, I think people are more inclined to call with wacky hands than they are to bluff ace highs.
Right.
I think. That's not speculation.
He jams.
Snap.
Snap. We don't win. What do you think we lose to?
I mean, aces mainly, or a boat.
Yeah, he does have a boat.
Yeah, that's the only hand that would check the turn. Oh, pocket 4s.
Yeah, up.
Oh, God.
The 3-bet pre-check back the turn, bang off the full house.
Yeah, also the pot size bet on the flop.
Yeah, just you love that river. It's just beautiful.
Wacky is a fair note, I would say.
Yeah. So at this point, we've reached the halfway point, Ben, and we're going to go into part 2, but that will be in a different video. Do you have any comments to make briefly about my play?
For the most part, I think you played pretty well. But the theme that has kept coming up is the multi-way, and it looks like, because you're playing in games with a lot of recreational players, you're going multi-way a lot, which is super normal.
I'm making a lot of mistakes.
So I think, but this difficult thing is that it's really difficult to study multi-way spots because you need Monka Solver and it takes years to run sims.
Yeah.
So generally, I would say take a more passive approach when you're multi-way, and pot control a lot more, and assume that your hand value goes down. It ranks down based on it's called defense burden, which is like split between 3 players as opposed to 2.
So I don't need to move down?
No, definitely not.
Okay.
You need to move up, if anything.
Oh, come on, man.
Where you can find some heads-up pots instead of 3-way hand every single hand.
That's true. Anyway, that's going to be the end of part 1. Ben, thanks so much for doing this. We are obviously going on to part 2 now, so you will obviously see this in separate videos. We're just going to crack straight through. But I appreciate you being on for this first part, guys. If you have enjoyed it, please do drop a like and subscribe. For now, guys, that's going to do it. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you guys on part 2.